I'm Big Cal and welcome to my world. And it is now time for another recent video games pickups video. This one is showing off the pickups that I got from the video game market that took place at the Doncaster Dome on the 5th of December, I think it was, Sunday the 5th. I was hoping to get a video out much quicker than this, but I ended up with the dreaded man flu. Recovering from that still, my voice might sound a bit odd, I've still got a bit of a sore throat, but yeah, much better. So, the video game market. It's usually my favourite time of the year, it really is. They usually do one sort of in December time, and then one during the summer, and then they sort of added a third one. There's one usually taking place in about March time. Not really sure when the next one is, I didn't kind of look. Yeah, and this is my first one since like June or July 2019. There was one in 2020 in March, just before lockdown originally started, but I wasn't able to go to that one. And then due to obviously lockdown, the whole COVID thing, there hasn't been one. Finally got one back, so I was very excited and went, and honestly I was a little disappointed with it. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it this time. Still a lot of sellers there, but I did notice there was a few more tables than usual of people selling merchandise or pictures and things like that, game related stuff, but not actual video games. So there seemed to be a bit less this time around, and the selections just wasn't really there for me. It was weird. PSP games, there was barely anything PSP related, which was a disappointment. There were a couple of PSP games that I was looking out for, and just in terms of quality stuff, there was a lot of really common stuff, and then a handful of stuff that's a bit rarer, more expensive, that I'm not interested in. There wasn't much there that I was really wanting. So frankly, after like a one walk round I'd kind of already done. Had another couple of walk rounds. I was there for about an hour and a half. I was probably done after the first half hour, but I just kept going round hoping maybe I'd missed something, maybe some new stock was being put out. Yeah, so I was very disappointed, and I only ended up coming away with 5 games, which yeah, for me, very small number. But the stuff I did get was really good. I'm very happy with at least with what I got. I just was a bit disappointed that I didn't get more. So yeah, let's just get straight into it then. So we have a PS1 game. This one was very cheap. I just picked it up because I've been after it for a while. I was already buying something from the same seller, and I saw that, I thought I'll just throw that in as well. And that is Nuclear Strike, the sort of sequel to Soviet Strike, also on the PS1, part of the Strike series that goes back to the 16-bit consoles as well. Basically, you're a helicopter overhead, and you go around and you have certain missions to do. You have to blow up certain buildings, collect hostages and deliver them somewhere, and you have missiles and machine guns and things, and you got health, and you can go around trying to pick up new ammunition and health packages and things as you go along the map. And yeah, a bunch of different missions that you got to do and try and survive basically. And it's always been a really fun game. I always enjoyed Soviet Strike on the PS1, and I've never played Nuclear Strike before, so it was nice to finally just pick that up and add it to the collection. It was cheap, yeah, so I'm all for that. Next is a game that was actually on my list that I had like a want list of about 12 or 13 games. It's like, okay, these are the ones I'm going to look out for. This is what price this should be going for. Don't want to pay any more than that. This was one of them, and it is Reloaded for the PlayStation 1. I also wanted Loaded as well, the first game, but that was a little more expensive than what I was willing to pay for. This one was a lot cheaper because it's the Zoo Classics. The Heli Zoo. Yeah, because there were a lot of them that come originally like a double case and things. They were like £8 or £9 more than this. Like, I don't really care, I just kind of want to play the game. It comes complete with manual, so yeah. And so like an overhead shooter thing, you're wandering around, blowing things up, killing people, and yeah, it's very violent, very fun. I'd never actually played the series before, but I've always wanted to give it a go, so picked up Reloaded. Do want to get the just the original Loaded. Yeah, so a lot of fun that I had with it so far, although I did get lost on the first stage while recording footage for this video. yeah, that's probably just me sucking at it. But yeah, fun stuff. Looking forward to playing it a bit more and seeing what happens. Next is a game I was not expecting to come away with, just because it had sort of like pushed it out of my mind. Now, for years I'd been told about this game, said, oh, it's really good, you should get it. And I always, for some weird reason, mistook it for a strategy or tactics RPG. And those just aren't usually my thing. I like the XCOM games, I like Mario and Rabbids, but anything else, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics and all that stuff, Fire Emblem, blah 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 blah, just never clicked with me. And I always thought this was one of them, until I found out, no, it's a turn-based JRPG. And by then, the price had gone up and up and up and up with it, and I just thought, I'm probably not going to get it cheap, I won't bother. And then I saw it at the gaming market, for a price much cheaper than I was expecting, so I picked it up, because why not? And that is Breath of Fire 4. And getting a JRPG on the PS1 these days for cheap is very, very difficult. You can probably get the Final Fantasy games a lot cheaper, like I think 7 usually goes for about 20 quid still. Not my thing, but yeah, it is there if you want it. But any other JRPGs, very expensive, so I was very, very pleased to pick this one up for as cheap as I did. And I played a bit of it so far, and yeah, I really like what they've done with it. So very, very happy to add this to my collection. Like I said, I just wasn't expecting to come across it at such a good price. So as soon as I saw it, it's like, yeah, I'm going to have that one. So it's definitely on my pile of JRPGs to get through eventually. I have far too many of them that I want to play through, but yeah, it's on the list. Next is a game that I've been after for some time, but it's always been going up and up and up in price again. So yeah, this was listed on my want list going in, and the price that I had it at was £30, which is roughly what it tends to go for. As soon as I saw it on one of the first stores I went to for £25, yep, I picked it up, checked, yep, it's complete, in good condition. Mine, 25 quid, Dino Crisis 2! Huge fan of the original game. I think I mentioned before, one of my biggest gaming achievements was completing that game when I was a kid in Japanese. Yeah, luckily, like the story, the cutscenes and things, the voice acting was in English, but the menus and everything, Japanese. But I powered through, managed to beat it, had a blast. The second one came out, and while the first one is very much, you know, original Resident Evil survival horror, the second one sort of goes in the way of more action based, but it's still really fun. But I haven't played it since I was a kid, and I only had it on copy back then. Naughty me. But yeah, so finally picked it up and I played through a little bit, and yeah, already having a blast with it, so can't wait to go through this finally. Finally got it for my collection. And the final game is a Nintendo DS game that I absolutely went in saying, yep, I absolutely want to buy this. And I thought I wasn't going to get it. I could not find it on any of the stalls. I had an early bird ticket, which you pay £4 for rather than £2 on the door. And you get in an hour early. It's limited to about 500. So I was in fairly early. It was about, you know, half in the queue. So yeah, about 200 odd people ahead of me. So I was still able to get to a lot of the tables early. And I just never saw this. It took me ages to finally find it. When I did, it's like, yep, that's in the price range. Pokemon version Black. So this finally completes my DS Pokemon collection. Mainline ones anyway. I'm not really interested in the spin-offs. But now I finally own them all on the DS. And the DS ones are unfortunately some of the more expensive ones. But I managed to get a lot of them for good prices. So I own Black and White 1 and 2 now. I own Diamond, Pearl and... what was the... what's the third one called? Diamond, Pearl and... yeah, whatever that third one is, I own that. I got a really good price on that. I own Soul Silver and Heart Gold as well. Yeah, so now for mainline Pokemon games, all I need is all of the Game Boy Advance ones except for Sapphire, including the Fire Red and Leaf Green remakes, and then the Emerald and Ruby. Yeah, and then from there it's just the much more modern ones, the Diamond and Pearl remakes on the Switch, and then yeah, I'll have sort of all of them, but I'm holding off on those for a while. But yeah, finally glad to finally get Pokemon Black. Of course, it is complete in box, manual, all the other bits in there, all the leaflets and things. Oh, finally own it. So yeah, that was all that I picked up at the gaming market. 5 games, but yeah, I'm still very happy. Like I said, these two were absolute must-wants that I've been after for a while. This one was on my want list when I went in there, the little short want list that I had. This one, just hugely surprised I was able to pick it up for as cheap as I did. Very, very happy with that. And then this one, Nuclear Strike, was just a cheap game to add to the collection. It's something that I have wanted for ages, never played it. Goes towards the Strike series collection that I'm trying to build up. Very pleased. So, disappointed with the selection and what was available at the market, but happy with the pickups that I did get. So, I'm bigcal, thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my pickups. Let me know if you went to the Doncaster video game market on the 5th and what you thought of it. And I'll see you again next time.